Communion is a short film and a story about inescapability. It's about Saul, who grew up in South Africa on a wine farm, his father's estate, and left as soon as he possibly could to escape his father's legacy, to escape his family, but to escape his position as a white South African and member of the ruling minority, where, as he says in the story, as long as he was there, he always felt he was benefiting at the expense of others. So he couldn't wait to leave. Now his father has died, he's come back to wrap up the estate and must spend one night in the house, which is full of memory and full of generational trauma. So he will do anything to let go of his past, but his past is not quite ready to let go of him. And the inspiration for the story came years ago when I was doing some research, and I spoke to members of wine farming communities who told me about the communion of labor, or payment by wine system, which was a system in which the farm workers were paid by wine, a bottle of wine every Friday, and it led to a huge problem of alcoholism. And what would happen was they'd get their wine on a Friday and they'd start drinking and become abusive and drunk, and their children used to run from their homes and often sleep in the vineyards to take refuge. So those beautiful vineyards that are world famous and the South African wines that are world famous carry a darker history that I believe needs to be told. And it plays out very much like a ghost story. I've chosen the tropes of the conventional horror with the haunted house, again speaking to the theme of inescapability. Something's trying to get in, Saul can't get out, and he also can't escape his history. The ghosts are literally asserting themselves into the present and demanding to be heard. But things are not quite what they seem in terms of those ghosts. So visually, my reference texts are classic Hollywood horror films like The Innocents and Rebecca and the original The Haunting from 1963, because of the sense of claustrophobia, the stark contrast lighting, and that sense of foreboding, that sense of entrapment, which again speaks to the major theme of the film. And the soundscape is as important as the visual, with recurring motifs running throughout the film, because, once again, the present is not free of the past. The past is asserting itself into the present and demanding to be heard through Saul's memory and voiceover and childhood voices, all trying to suffuse with the present and creating a sense of past meets present. Also, there are repeated motifs like the old brass bell, which used to ring every Friday, which was the sign for the workers to collect their wine. It continues to ring throughout the night that Saul spends in the house. Whether it's actually ringing or whether it's in his head is never quite clear, but that's another recurring motif in the film, bringing about those very deeply entrenched tropes of the film. Basically, it's an old story told the new way, classic Hollywood horror supplanted into a South African context, bringing a broader story to the world stage on a socio-political, emotional level, but told as a good old-fashioned ghost story yarn. Thank you.